I know Drew Rosenhaus had said on his television segment that you had higher money offers elsewhere. What made you want to come home to Miami? And also, before you signed, did you and Mike McDaniel or Anthony Weaver or Austin Clark had conversations? Did any of those talks get you excited about the role they have in mind for you?
I think the biggest reason why I signed back here is, it's obviously a familiar area for me. I went to college here. So, this is really great to be back in a comfortable environment, a familiar environment, a family environment. And yeah, I had a couple conversations and it was really through Drew, but it really gave off a really good family environment here. And it's definitely something I thought I could really benefit from.
And had they brought you in for a workout or a visit first, or was it just simply a contract offer and you accepted?
It was just a contract offer.
Thanks.
Adam?
Hey, Teair, Adam Beasley at Pro Football Network. Welcome back. Curious, when you had those conversations early on about joining the Dolphins, was a role discussed? What do you think you can bring? How many positions on the offensive line can you play? And do you think they're going to use you all over the place?
Well, well, uh, 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 well, uh, it was no role discussed. Everything's earned in this league, as we all know. It was no role discussed, but they said I would have a fair opportunity to come in here and play if I worked hard and showed up and participated, and that's what I planned on doing. So yeah.
Is there a spot in the defensive line do you think that you're best at?
I mean, I think I'm a football player. I'm a football player first, so wherever you feel comfortable is where I'm comfortable. I'm here to help the team win, whatever it takes, man.
Thanks for the time.
Travis?
Hey, what's up, TR? My name is Travis Wingfield here with the Dolphins. I know you played all over the defensive line for the Titans, but a lot of 0-1 technique. And at 300 pounds, pretty impressive how you're able to hold up against some of those bigger guys in the middle. I'm curious, what is the key at that size to be able to hold up as a 0-1 technique?
I mean, I think the technique, you always rely on your technique, even through adversity, fatigue, and whatever. So technique is the key thing. Having a good pad level, having using your hands properly, definitely could give you a good bit of advantage. And just being strong in there, you need some nasty to get a lot of nasty to play some D line. So that don't hurt at all either.
If I could follow up, your ex-teammate, now current teammate, Aaron Brewer, talks about being nasty on the pivot as well. I'm curious what you learned from all those practices going up against him in Tennessee.
And competitive. That's my boy, man. Me and Brewer go back since my rookie year, both undrafted. But yeah, just competitive, man. Even from our rookie year, I remember some hard fought battles, definitely some fire, some bickering, but that's my dog, man. So it's just when you get competitive in there, it just makes you want to go a lot harder. And when you do that, you just keep finding ways to improve.
Good stuff. Thanks, dear.
Chris Perkins?
Hey, Teair, Chris Perkins from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. How you doing?
Bless.
All right. Hey, I got two questions, trend questions for you. The first question is, in the NFL, interior defensive linemen are recording a lot more sacks nowadays. That's not your thing. You're a very effective run stopper. Statistically, 8 tackles for loss last year, and I think 1 sack, which means you're effective at what you do. Do you ever feel pressure to get more sacks, either for financial reasons or that's because a lot of other interior defensive linemen are doing that nowadays?
Well, I think a lot of people get confused from sacks. Everybody just thinks if you don't get sacks, you're not a good pass rusher, which isn't true at all. There's a lot of ways to affect the quarterback. I mean, obviously pressures, um, disrupting timing, hits, pressing the pocket, making the quarterback feel uncomfortable. And those are ways that actually translates into getting other people sacks and actually make you an effective rusher. Getting sacks just doesn't tell the whole story. If you watch my stats, I had almost 30 pressures a couple years ago. So, I mean, obviously the pass rushing ability is there. So just closing out on the opportunities you can get as a pass rusher on those rush downs it definitely benefit, but sacks are hard to come by in this league. And like you said, the numbers have increased. And I think that contributes to the coaching and the players, definitely the IQ and the scheming up. So, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Good answer. My second question is regarding guards that you face. It seems like that guards are a lot taller nowadays. You see guards at 6'4", 6'5". A lot of offensive tackles shift inside. I'm wondering, do you have an advantage on leverage when you play against a taller guard? Does that, is it hard for them to keep low? Does that give you at your height and your size an advantage on them?
I mean, I think that all just depending on the player, honestly. I mean, I can't really speak on like every player in the NFL that's taller than me, but I mean, I guess that all just depending on the player and the type of player you're going up against. You know, some people aren't really good at bending their hips, so I think it'd be harder for them to get a little as low as me. But yeah, I think that's just all like a, you know.
Individual. Okay, thanks. Appreciate you.
Omar?
Hey, Teair. I actually love when players have the opportunity to clear up misperceptions or public perception things. In Tennessee, things went left for you. You got your release, or they released you. Can you tell us what happened in that scenario before you ended up in Houston, where things just went south?
Yeah, and I think I just needed a culture change. I think it was just better to not be a part of that situation anymore. And you know, me personally, I just felt like I needed a culture change. Honestly.
So you requested your release.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
David?
Hey, Teair. David Fronis from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. So having played at FIU, what do you remember about the heat and humidity of those training camp workouts in Miami, and what you're in for coming back here now?
I mean, I know one thing, you're gonna be in shape, but I think the biggest thing I remember from college is like, so we don't have a dome, so we didn't have a dome. So I mean, I remember like the second week of camp, the turf got to like 148 degrees, and y'all probably already heard it plenty of times. So the glue started melting on the cleats and stuff, and you just sliding across. You gotta keep spraying like ice cold water on your cleats to keep the cleats, the glue from melting and stuff. So I mean, that was one thing I really remember. But you know, it's football camp. You know, no matter where you at, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and I wanted to expand on that high TFL rate last season that you had. How does one get to the ball carrier in the backfield that often?
Playing within the scheme, and sometimes it's taking your opportunities when it presents itself. You know, it can definitely benefit you.
Cool. Thanks.
Hal?
Hi, Teair. How you doing? Um, if I could, I'd like to follow up a little bit on what Omar asked you a minute ago. You know, some of the things coming out of Tennessee really cut to the heart of things like work ethic, which I'm sure is, you know, a sensitive area for any football player. You never want to hear that questioned. So what do you want Dolphin fans to know about your work ethic, about never taking plays off, things like that?
I mean, I was in Tennessee 4 years. You know, I never had work ethic questions, work ethic issues until I asked for a release. But you know, coming from a Belichick situation, you know, you got to play hard, you got to practice hard. So, which I find really weird. But you know, I think in a lot of things they expect me to be competitive, spirited. You know, I'm not afraid to show emotion out there on the field and really get after it and compete. And you know, I'm really just excited for a new beginning, honestly. You know, Tennessee's the past. You know, I was at Houston after that. That's the past. I'm here in Miami now, and I'm excited to get to know the fans. I'm excited to play hard for this organization, and I'm in awe just to be here, man. It's a blessing, honestly.
When you talk about showing emotion and getting excited about big plays, Christian Wilkins just left here and he was known for some of his wild celebrations. Can we expect something like that from you whenever there's a big play made by the defense or a touchdown by the offense?
I mean, I'm always to celebrate with my teammates, so.
Cool, thanks.
Joe?
Hey, Teair, it's Joe in Palm Beach. How are you?
I'm great.
Okay. I have not met another Teair before.
Mm-hmm.
What is the background, if any, on the name?
That's not really much of a background on the name, honestly. I think my aunt picked out the name, and my mom just ran with it. I really don't know. It's really not much behind it, honestly.
Have you ever met another Teair?
No, I have not. I have not.
All right. The Sixers, they have some complaints about the officiating in the series with the Knicks. I happen to be a Knicks fan, and I know you're from Philly. Are you a
Philly
Sixers?
getting robbed.
Are you a okay? So you are a Sixers person, and what do you think of the officiating?
I think it's terrible. I think we need to.
We can talk about the NBA officiating, just not the NFL officiating. You can't get fined for talking about the NBA. All right, Teair, nice to meet you.
I love it.
All right, we'll do two last ones. We'll go Omar first, and then David Fronis will close us out.
Here, want to ask you about Anthony Weaver. How much research did you do on him and the scheme before you decided to become the 7th defensive tackle added to the team this offseason?
I mean, obviously, like when you're looking into teams, you look at who's on the roster, who's what type of scheme they'll be running. But I mean, really not to get too much into it. You know, I just thought I'd be a good fit here for what I believe they're going to have going on. You know, I could play in multiple schemes, as you've seen. Like I played in Tennessee. Obviously, Houston was a different scheme. So, you know, I felt real comfortable coming here and being a part of what they got.
Thank you.
Go ahead, David.
It's here. Yeah, man. Sixers got robbed last night, man. But so so in Tennessee, you would have been teammates with David Long. Just wondering your thoughts on reuniting with him and what it was like being a teammate of his.
Dog. David Long, all dog, man. All gas all the time, man. I love playing with him, man. David gets those double teams off you quick, man. He's a hard worker. He's passionate, very passionate about what he do, and you know, I missed him in Tennessee a lot, man. That was my boy, man. Sure. So it's a blessing to be here, Miami, playing with him again. I know one of the first things I said 5-1. So that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's just my boy, man. And he plays hard.